So we left off this conversation, you know, at a very interesting place in terms of your transition to galleries. And one of the things, and I've said this to you before, that I was, I'm a champion of that transition for you because of your journey, of the unlikeliness of your success, given your background in the Bronx and as a hardcore writer. You weren't an artsy fartsy guy. You weren't trained at Parsons or SVA. You really work from the gut.
Yep.
And also that you have, you know, in a way you had to muscle your way into this unlikely place, this business, right? Because you're in the business of ideas, and you're finding success in Europe, whereas America probably wasn't as open arms, huh?
No, it took a while.
And why do you think? Why do you think it was the case that Europe was more embracing of you than America?
A little something, but the thing with like Europe, especially the French, you know, they really embrace the artwork, the old writers from New York, and they already been doing stuff like that with old writers, you know. So I mean, if you really want it, you push yourself really hard. You gotta grab their attention somehow, you know. And doing these paintings, you know, I guess caught a lot of people's attention. And watching people like John One too. John was a big influence for me. You know, I remember John One first went to Paris and started smashing canvases and stuff like that. Watching him, where he took it to another level. The dude's like Picasso now in Paris, you know, and he's such a genuine guy. You know, I know since the early '80s, and watching John One pretty influenced me a lot to try to get to that level. I mean, it'll take a while probably, but just following people like John One, it really influenced me a lot.
Not only John One, Shepard Ferry too became a peer, and you painted. I mean, he's highly successful, and you did a lot of, well, several collaborations with him.
Yeah, with Shep, man.
Well, one of the things here, this next production, tell me about this production, this collaboration with Shepard Ferry, and how is it that you guys decided to collaborate?
It was I mean, I met Shep through the Mark Echo game, Getting Up.
And that's how you guys decided, okay, well, let's collaborate. Because at this point, you know, there's, you know, writers, there was a point where writers weren't really feeling the street artists. And what was your opinion of street art?
I mean, it's stupid because it's like, you know, people just do art, man. Just do it for you, you know. And the thing with a lot of, like, when I was painting with writers too, if you wasn't a big famous writer, people be like, why are you painting with that writer? You know, like, who cares? He's cool, you know? Because sometimes the guy who's really dope is an asshole, and then the guy who is not dope is a really cool dude. And that's what I wanted to do. Because if I chill with dudes that are knuckleheads, then I become a knucklehead. If I chill with cool dudes, I become cool. And I always try to be with the cool dudes because I don't want no problem. So, but meeting Shepard Ferry, I met him through the Mark Echo game, the Getting Up. You know, we were some of the legends in that game, which was really cool. And then he was doing the Houston Bowery wall. I went down there and I met him that day. And I met up with him there, watching him. And I said, yo, let's do a little wall together. That would be cool. You know, I just threw it at him. Just like I would talk to any writer that did burners, oh, let's do a wall. Like if I did a wall with T-Kid or whoever, you know, Flight TDS. You know, I did a wall. Wanted to do something with Shepard Ferry, in a sense to combine two of the best of worlds. You know, like, man, I'm one of the best in graffiti, and he's one of the best in street art. Let's do a wall together. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to collaborate something that people don't normally do. It's always good to do different, be different, not always do the same thing with the same people. Do something different. When I did that with Shepard Ferry, we did the wall. and Martha Cooper came and documented it. That was explosive. You know, he loved it so much he wanted to do a print out of it.
Nice.
I was like, wow, the print? All right, do a print. It was amazing. You know, he did a print out of it. I put the print, did like 350 limited edition copies, and those things sold in like 2 minutes. I think I was in shock. You know, like
Nice.
Shepard Ferry to me is like the king of street art. You know, that guy's a legend in street art.
So,
And
Cope,
he's not one of these guys that just do legal stuff. This guy goes out there, and that's what really inspired me about him. He went out there and he bombed with his wheat paste. He did illegal stuff. He's been arrested for it. So
yeah, no, he's official. He's put in the work. Cope, your
he's
audio,
putting the work, like, and he's such a genuine dude. This guy's like top of the line, genuine.
Cope, let me interrupt you because your audio is not coming in very good. So I'm going to disconnect with you and bring you back on. Because hopefully this is
now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is much better. So yeah, and that to me I found really interesting. Like you said, you know, the meeting of minds. You know, yeah, top guy in street art and you know, one of the top writers coming together. It is interesting. You know, what kind of feedback did you get from the graffiti writing community for collaborating with him?
I mean, it was cool. You know, you hear people, you know, complaining, but then you get a lot of support. Yo, that was dope, man. How did you? Some people just get caught off guard from it. They don't even see it coming. So when you do it, it's a really impactful. COPE2 and fucking Shepard Ferry, like, it's really that's the impact that I want to as well. You know, you gotta always try to be impactful in certain ways. You know, not always do the same thing all the time. The same thing all the time. Try to twist it a little in the sense where people, you know, will look at you and be like, oh, whoa, this guy did a collaboration with this dude. Whoa, you know, it's just good, not only for yourself as an artist and the other guy, it's good just for art in general, you know, to keep people excited and interested in art, in graffiti and street art. When you combine those two, it's really amazing, you know, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to give people something different to be hyped about and to look at.
Right. And this
really amazing.
Yeah, again, these kinds of collaborations open up doors for you as well.
Yep.
It helps. It helped, and I'm sure you know. And you got the Bowery wall. You know, that's a huge project.
Yeah, I got it.
That's a coveted wall, and you got it.
It was a little tough getting it. You know, there was some people trying to hold me back from getting it. You know, but you know, at the end of the day, what it was, Shepard Ferry introduced me to Tony Goldman, and you know, Shep was like, this guy is this, that, boom. You know, he really kicked it, and Tony just gave me his card and said, look, call my office, call my assistant. A matter of fact, one assistant was there at the time. She gave me her card. I remember I forgot who it was, but then she left, and then there was another lady came, and you know, she was really tight with these guys that didn't like me, was trying to get me not to do the wall. You know, it's like, it's really tough, this thing sometimes, because, you know, as you're trying to get there and trying to do things, you got people that don't want to see you succeed either. You know, they try to stop you doing what you want. And it's really terrible because, you know, there's art for everybody. There's money for everybody. There's success for everybody. You know, I'm not the best artist, man. Come on. But I push, you know, and I keep on and I stay on top of it and I keep grinding and grinding. And finally, after like probably 1 billion emails in 4 years, you know, Jessica just called me out of nowhere, Jessica Goldman, and she was like, she introduced herself and she asked me if I wanted to do the wall. I was shocked. I was like, wow. I was caught off guard. And people were really, really like caught off guard when I did that. It was really fun. You know, it was really fun to do it and to have it.
It's a lesson in persistence, for sure.
That was the dopest wall downtown. I mean, it's funny because when I got it and people started seeing me doing it and I was posting on Instagram, I started getting emails from people that I thought didn't even like me anymore. And I knew didn't like me anymore, but they were like, yo, you want me to come down and help you? I was like, what? I was bugging, like, you know, people popping up that I knew we had, you know, tension with. They would pop up to chill and, yo, this is dope. You know, it was cool. You know, it was a good experience. It was fun. I did it for fun. That was the good thing. As you can see, I was just me and I had fun. I did it. You know, I let Wayne paint on it, easy. You know, I also let, you know, a few people paint on it too, because I didn't want just me to be on it. You know, I wanted to put a little flavor, other guys as well.
Right.
It's always good to do that.
Did this piece get crossed out?
Yeah, man. I mean, it got dissed when I just started it. It got already dissed, and I was like, wow, these guys are fast. So I did it, the whole thing, and a few days later, it got dissed again, and then I fixed it, and it stood like that until they took the wall down, because they had to bring it stood up like maybe 2-3 weeks, and Jessica told me that they had to take it down because it was deteriorating in the back or something like that, and they had to make a new one. But I was like, fine, no problem, do what you got to do. You know, I'm just blessed to even be able to do this wall, because it's really hard to get that wall, you know, and you know, to have some of my friends come, like Eternal too. Eternal came. It's a good guy, really genuine guy. He came. I let him paint on it too, and to able to even do that wall, man, was explosive. You know, a really explosive experience, and I thank, you know, the Gomans for the love and the energy, man.
Yeah, and this piece, is this in New York by
Yeah, that's in the Bronx. I did that with Okuda. You
Okuda?
know,
Yeah.
he's a pretty big famous dude, man, from Spain, man. That guy's like, he's killing it, you know. And we've done 2 walls. I think that was the first one we did. And yeah, that was the first. No, that was the second one. The first one we did got destroyed by some dudes, but whatever. And that's the second one we did. You know, we do collaborations. We've done 2 collaborations already. And he's a really genuine dude. You know, these guys are really cool. You know, I like people that you could just go to a wall and everything's positive and just paint. You know, you don't gotta act. You don't gotta be on guard, ready to like be like some South Bronx crazy Puerto Rican dude. It's corny. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I'm in my 50s, man. We don't got time for this anymore. Let's just have fun, man. You know, like enough.
Well, you like collaborating with you know, people, and one of them you got to collaborate with one of your childhood heroes, Blade.
Oh, Blade is my hero, period. That guy and Comet. Them dudes, not only they had trains killed as a kid, you know, they used to have tags on the highways. And I remember going to like the Orchard Beach, City Island, and they would have big fat cap tags on the highways. And I'm sitting in my grandfather's car driving by, you see big Comet and Blade, big tags, big throw-ups on the highway. I'm like, this shit, it's crazy. It's crazy. And how that came about was, I think Alan from Dirty Pilot, which is another really good dude, you know, he said if I wanted to do a collaboration with Blade on a canvas. And I was like, what? And me and Blade was already pretty cool. You know, I know Blade for a while. And he showed me half the canvas. They shipped it to me and I did it. And they sold it. You know, it was really, I have another canvas I have to do. It's a Blade. I have to do the other piece. But I'm keeping that one because I'm not selling it. It's just something you have to put in your collection for your kids for 20 years from now. COPE and the Blade canvas. I'm sure.
You're also an art collector, aren't you?
Oh yeah, you have to, man. You know, because in the sense that you know, I watched how when artists die, the way people take their artwork and sell it for so much. It's insane. It's insane. The Dondis, the Ramoses, the Basquiat's, the Keith Harings, all that stuff. You see, when artists die like that, they were impactful artists, and you see their work going for so much money, it's insane. And my thing is like, I don't want to have done this for just nothing, you know, just because I love to do it. It's in my heart and soul. But, you know, we all die. And eventually, you know, when I'm dead and gone, I want my kids and my grandkids to have my collection and sell it. So you're talking maybe 20, 30 years from now. Who knows if I'm alive or not? You know, they could take my work. You know, I have probably over 1,000 coat paintings put away that people never saw. I paint and I don't even show stuff. I just put it away. And when I do art shows, if I say do 15, 20 pieces, if Out of 20 pieces, if 5 sell, when the other 15 come back, I'll take 5, sell those, I'll take those 10 and put them in storage. So I've been putting paintings away since like forever, you know, and I always buy from other artists as well. I got Stay Highs, you know, I got a lot of stuff. Is the Wiz, I got caps, I got scenes, I got mins, you know, I got stuff put away will be worth money way later when I'm dead and gone. And people got to understand that. You know, I got kids and I got grandkids. So, I mean, it kind of sucks if an artist passes away and then you see all these vultures, all these art collectors come, they take all your work and they sell it. They make thousands off it. You know, it's cool. I got paintings out there. Yeah, they're going to make money off me, but I want my kids to make money off it too. So let them sell a few coat paintings and buy themselves a car or a house or whatever. Who knows?
Very, very wise words, my man.
You have to, because in the end of the day, we don't live forever, man. This is
No.
this
But
is not.
while you're living, you're doing big things. And
Yeah,
one
I'm
of the
thinking
big
for the
things,
future because this is all I have. This is I'm not gonna go work for nobody. So my work is my paintings, and while I'm alive, I'm gonna continue to build my legacy and build my legacy until I'm gone. And even after when I'm gone, you know, like you want to be immortalized, like Bruce Lee. You know, Bruce Lee is an example. You see the way Bruce Lee is still so alive today, and this guy died what 50 years ago. It's
yeah.
insane. I mean, I'm saying I'm gonna be like Bruce Lee, but just watching this
Well,
guy's all
I
over
mean, there's
Instagram.
one thing that could be said about writers in a way, you know, some of us chase immortality, you know, and by leaving our names behind. But the truth is,
Exactly, exactly.
it's ephemeral. Then that's why making objects and painting canvases makes sense.
Exactly. And it's
This,
sad because some artists that did die didn't do that much work. You don't see that much out there,
yeah,
you know? But I want to make sure when I'm gone, there's at least a couple of thousand paintings out there that no one's never seen and they're put away and boom,
yeah.
kids and grandkids can take them and sell them and enjoy life, man. I mean, I got to leave something behind, you know?
Can I ask you something about this big time painting? Because this is on a big tarp, outdoor tarp, and it's an actual painting that's not printed.
No,
Um,
that's an actual big, that thing was a pain in the ass to do, man. I mean, they contacted me and they wanted me to do that. I was going to do it by myself, but I felt it was a little corny just doing cope all over it. So I got a couple of guys that were cool at the time. They were down with me and we would just, you know, I like to look out. You know, if we're down together, I want you to get down too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm not that type of guy that's selfish. You know, same thing with my video, my book. I gave everybody shine. And that's how I am. And people know that. You know, I'm not selfish. And I said, you know, let me get some of the other dudes. You know, I paid some of the guys too. I got a good payday from that. I paid some guys. Some guys didn't want any money. They didn't care. They knew what it was for, so they were excited to even get down. And it was 3 parts. I think one part was just me doing the piece, and they hung it up, I think, for a month. And people were walking by, looking at it, like, what the hell is this piece doing hanging up in Soho on the side of a building? It was all over the news. Then I did another part. It was the second part. I think it was just a piece and a few throw-ups. Then the third part was the whole complete thing. I think Time was just trying to give a message. And, man, that thing was all over the newspaper, all over the news. It was just insane how big that thing got. It was
Who,
really huge.
who ended up keeping the painting afterwards?
Time, they have it. And it's funny, I didn't had no place to do it. So I remember the 5 points. I said, wait a minute, 5 points. I could do it on 5 points. And man, Mears is one of the greatest dudes ever. This guy is so cool. Like, he's really genuine. He I called him up. I said, yo, I need to hang this shit off the building. And he said, cool, no problem. I hooked him up. And yo, he helped me, man. That shit, it was a pain in the ass, but we did it. It was really fun. It was a great project. You got to have fun with these projects too. It's not
Yeah.
all about the money and the hype. In the end of the day, while you're doing it, have fun with it. Just have fun with it, and then everything comes into place.
And of course, you published a book about your life. This book did well for you, didn't it? This was like a passport for you.
That book, man, was amazing. You know, if it wasn't for Oris, rest in peace, for Matt Crew, you know, that guy, he really liked my work. He was a really big fan. And he told me he wanted to do a book on me. Him and his partner at the time, Mir. That's what he writes, Mir. Nicholas. Really good dude, too. And they wanted to do the book on me. And I was like, damn, a book? I didn't believe. Like, I already did the COPE video in 2000. And I had a lot of heat over that. And the book was cool. And they told me they wanted to do all these 270 full color pages, hardcover book. And at the time, I was like, damn, how am I going to do this? Because I've painted with so many people. I didn't want to just put me in the book, you know? But Oris told me, listen, this is your book. You should just focus on you. You know, I was like, damn. But I didn't want to do that because I said, if I just focus on coat pieces, then I'm going to hear it from everybody else. You know, it's like you damn if you do and you damn if you don't. So it's like, oh, Cope did a book. He didn't put my piece in it. I was right next to him. And I'm going to hear that shit. And I said, you know what? I'm not like that. If I'm shining in the book, I want to put everybody that I was painting with in the book too. You know? And people think, let me tell you, you do a book, you don't get rich off that shit. People think you did a book. Oh, Cope's rich. He just did a book. He came out with a book. They think you're in millions, a few grand, you know, and books, whatever. It's not even all about the money. It was about the project, the hype. The book was dope, and it was selling all over. I think they did 2,500 copies and sold out. The problem was they didn't reprint because Oris, the guy who published it and did the book, he passed away from cancer. Rest his soul. You know, he was a really great guy. I love the dude. I miss him. And I'm really thankful that he even thought of doing that for me. You know, it came out in 2003 and it sold well. I have probably like 200 copies put away. You know,
good for you.
Brand new with the plastic around them, put away. Those are for my kids too and my grandkids. They can probably give them to their friends or whatever, but brand new copies, crispy. You know, I have about 200 copies put away.
So
and that book was really great.
The next big one of the next big projects you did was the Mark Echo Getting Up game. And the image we're looking at right now is of you in the center with T-Kid behind you, Scene, and Shepard Ferry, Futura. And I don't know who that is with the mask and hoodie.
That's Smith.
Smith, there you go.
Smith.
There you go. But now you are immortalized digitally.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And no less an action game about graffiti and getting up.
I mean, the project, you know, Ket approached me. Alan Ket, another really good guy, you know, he approached me and he told me about the project. And then, you know, first he said, can you submit some throw-ups or blah, blah. Then he came back to me and he was like, yo, do you want to be, they want you to be a legend. And I was like, a legend? What do you mean? Like, actually be in the game. I was shocked. I was like, get the fuck. I was like, wow, that's kind of ill. Then he told me who was the legends in it. And I was like, wow. See, that's why sometimes people, they come, oh, Cope's not a legend. Cope's not a, it's not even really about that. You know, my thing, I got the legend thing from watching Bruce Lee, you know, being a legend.
So big ups to Ket for helping Mark Eck. I got to say this about Alan, because he's been a longtime friend of mine. He's been a genuine advocate for the culture.
Yeah,
and for the artists. And, you know, he himself is a collector and, of course, the co-founder of the Museum of Graffiti. But this game in particular was so innovative, right? It was so surreal for all of us to be.
It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. I got trips to Paris, you know, a few trips to Europe to promote it, you know, Canada. The big thing we did in Manhattan with the trains, man, that thing was Mark Echo needs to do a part 2 or somebody needs to, because kids still today ask me about it. You know, when the part 2s come, I get DMs all the time about it. You know, like if I had the money, I'd do it, you know, and I would get a whole new bunch of different writers, you know, because it's such a dope, you know, kids like it, man, you know, and people love it. It was a dope game.
So, Cope, you know, as we kind of come to the closing of this conversation, I want to thank you for taking the time to share your story, man, and your art with us. You know, we We appreciate you and
Same
happy for
here, brother.
happy for your success. I
Same
want
here.
to I want to take some questions from our visitors. So I'm going to open up the comments,
Okay.
and I'm going to ask folks, to be chill and to be civil.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and,
I'm over
and
it, man.
and
It's like it doesn't define me, man. So it doesn't matter. They can say what they want.
right. So if any of you have a question for Cope, please shoot one through. We'll do our best to get as many questions as we can. Um, so let's see. Well, I'll ask you a question now. In terms of where you are now, how has Corona affected you and your work, your studio practice?
The coronavirus, man, that thing is evil, boy. It's killed a lot of people. It's killed one of my big brothers, Nick 707. Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in
Heart
peace.
and soul. That really hurts me, man. That was my boy. And I'm gonna carry the OTB torch for him, man, to the end. But I mean, I live like almost 2 hours up north from the Bronx now, so it's pretty all farms out here, and it's really open air, and
Yeah,
you know, it's
you're living
really,
a very different life.
yeah, it's a whole different culture. You got nothing but farms over here, and I pretty much stay up here a lot and try to be cool and just paint and chill up here. I go into the city to buy paintings from friends. Like, I buy paintings from Delta. I've been buying paintings from Knock, Comet, a lot of people, and Tracy. So I've been
Nice.
trying to collect my shit.
Good.
And
You,
I go to the city a lot to see people, family members, something like that. But I try to protect myself as much as possible.
T-Kid noted he needs your book. Um,
Oh, he get a
yeah,
copy.
yeah, I need one too. I'll say
No
that much.
problem.
But here's an interesting question. Messenger 841 asks, "How long were you a messenger? For how long were you a messenger? Did you messenger work with Stay High 149?"
No, no, I didn't work with Stay High. I mean, I met Stay High in messenger working too. I started messenger work, you could say, in '85. A good friend of mine, um, he was working in the blueprint company, and he said, "Yo, man, they have messengers down there." It was '85. I just had my son. I was stressed out. I was like, "Damn, I have a son. Like, I gotta,
Hmm.
I gotta make money here. I gotta buy Pampers, wipes, everything." And so I got a job in a blueprint company, and I was doing messenger there. And it's weird because this guy El Marco on 74 was working there,
Oh,
and the
he's
old
old
school
school.
guy.
Yeah.
Man, this guy was so cool. I have still some old tags from him on some on paper and stuff like that I put away. He
It's
was
it.
a really cool guy, and he worked there. And I just from there I started working inside the place, and then I would work in mail rooms, and I would do messenger work here and there, and I got bored of it. Then I started doing the bike, because on the bike I noticed you would make more money with the bike. But my bike got stolen a few times. I got hit one time by a fucking cab. I flew in the air, hit the floor. I was like, yo, this shit is crazy, man. It's too much, man.
Yeah,
So
it's funny because I was a messenger at one point. Min One was a messenger. He's the one that got me into it. It's not as easy as one would think. You have a question from Shot Call Productions. First whole car and influences the guy with the bat. That's weird.
first whole car, the guy with the bat. I don't know what that means.
Do you remember your first whole car? The feeling of what it was like
Well, I
to.
never did a whole car top to bottom. I never did any of those. I did one, maybe two or three in the scrapyard in Brooklyn, and I'm gonna be real. In the early '80s, I never did it because I thought it was a waste of paint. I was like, damn, to do a whole car, I could do 4 or 5 panels and a bunch of throw-ups, and you have more running around. But
Yeah.
I did a few top to bottoms, like silver top to bottoms, regular, you know, top to bottoms, blockbusters. But do a whole car like a Comet or Blade or Dondi, nah, never.
The original asks, how much did a young Spec, rest in peace, influence you to stay active?
Man, Spec, rest his soul, man. That kid, I showed him a lot, man. My brother G brought him to the house. I used to let him see videograph. That kid, he wanted to be king, and he took king of all the rooftops on the 4 line. the amazing thing and the phenomenal thing about Spec was some kids have a throw up today and they have one. He had about 5 different throw ups for a young kid, 5 different throw ups, and he even had them backwards. So that's to show you the dedication this kid had. You know, he was phenomenal. He was ahead of his time.
One of the things that one could say now about throw-up styles, they're wildly innovative. You know, beyond the simple throw-up bubble styles we came up with, the Dean throw-ups, the Jester throw-ups, is the Wiz throw-ups. Now they're really highly innovative. You know, you get, you know, writers like Scuff, that generation, they really started to rethink the throw-up as an actual piece, a unique piece of art. You have a question here. Have you tried virtual graffiti or King Spray? Have you done any VR graffiti at all? Digital graffiti?
Nah, I did it one time. I think, yeah, I did it like 2 years ago. It was what is this thing called? Tommy Hilfiger hired me and my brother G to go out there to the Bread and Butter, and we was doing some graffiti with some on a screen. It was kind of bugged, but nah, I'm not into that, man.
No,
too much. I don't have like. I'm more to just do a painting or something. I can't get into the whole computer stuff. It's just my brains ain't for it anymore. It's too much mescaline and weed and acid back in the days. I'm done, man. My brains don't work like that.
You have this is interesting. I don't know this about you if this is true. What about his graffiti photography? Didn't he take a lot of graph flicks?
Who?
You.
Oh yeah, I did. I got some pictures. I mean, I have a few of my early pictures, but I have a lot. You know, I was out there in my little 110 camera clicking, and I stole from Woolworth. You know, I steal the camera from there in the film, and I started taking pictures. Cause I met Henry. You know, I heard about Henry. I went to a studio. He took some pictures of my trains, and he gave me copies. And I just, you know, people say, "Yo, you take pictures of your trains." I'm like, "For what?" Because you didn't think it was gonna end. You thought it was something that was just always going to be an ongoing thing. You never thought the train era would die. You knew trains would get buffed, but then here comes a whole new era coming out of writers. Boom. Here comes this guy. Here comes that. So that's what we thought. And then, boom, 84, the 4 trains were the first line to get the digital subway cars from Japan. And that's why I branched on to the 1s, the 2s, the 6s, the 5s, because the 4s were done. And I guess they catered to the Yankees, to the Yankee Stadium.
So you have a question from Devu Swan. Who's a writer and influence you wrote with that you would never forget?
That's tough, man. They're all good. They're all good, man. You know, every writer, it's really hard because everyone, whoever I painted with, they were all good. If I painted with them, it's because they were a good person, you know. And one of them was another guy that wrote Quick as well. He wrote Quick KD. He had beef with Quick RTW. He was a really good friend of mine. And I always think about him. You know, a lot of guys that are not here anymore that I was cool with. You know, my boy Ston 3, you know, guys from earlier days when I grew up, you know, my friends that are gone. Those are guys that I think about a lot too, all the time. And sometimes I even write them in my pieces, in my canvases.
Benny Blueface asks, how long did you develop your tags and throws before moving on to burners?
I mean, back then it was a natural thing. You know, it's natural. If you're a graffiti writer from the early 80s, you're learning and you're watching from the best. You know, tagging Bantu off the back. I love his tags. You know, the burners. You're talking about T-Kid, Case 2, even Kel. I used to love Kel's pieces. His E, he had this E that used to go whoosh, whoosh. I used to love that E. You know, had an amazing, Kel was a master. Cos 207, the rock stars. They had amazing cars. You know, them guys got me into white outlines. I remember them doing white outlines. Like, wow, you would never think of doing a white outline until you seen guys like the rock stars, Mitch, Dondi doing white outlines. To me, white was for highlights. But some dudes were doing, you know, dark fillings with white outlines and shit would pop off the train. So ill.
Yeah, it was unorthodox. Another question for you about, you mentioned you were working on a book. When is the new book coming out?
Well, it was supposed to come out the end of this year. You know, the book is really amazing. It's little bit of everything, because I didn't want to just focus on one thing. So what I did was, and this time I'm only focused on me. You know, it starts with all my early trains, clean trains, and then trains all around Europe that people have never seen. I've been doing trains in Europe for a long time. So it's a lot of trains from all Europe. Then it goes into throw-ups all over the world, burners all over the world, New York, and then it goes into paintings and galleries from all over the world. So it's a little of everything. And I got a lot of quotes from some people, and really great quotes. Shepard Ferry did an amazing, amazing quote for me. They want me to get someone to interview me. And that's the problem. It's really hard to find someone to sit down and do it. That's all the book needs. It's done.
Right.
And if I could get someone, I just don't want to pick anyone. I want to get someone that I know that's really good, because it's a book. People are going to get it. And trust me, when they see it, they're going to want it. It's a special thing. You know, books are really dope, man, to have, because it's like, you know, you get to catalog your stuff in one thing, and people can actually have it home and watch and look at it.
That's right. And it's important that we understand what COPE is saying right now, because one way of that's important to keep your legacy alive is, you archive it through a book, and you can publish books now. I mean, you can
I got so
self-publish.
many photos. I could probably make 200 books, man.
Right. And because at least that's a living archive, right? And a registered archive. So you have a question here from A&R Room. When did you realize the train world of bombing was over and you had to find a new way to paint?
I mean, after my video, when I got arrested for my video in 2000 for the Kings Destroy documentary, they raided my house. You know, they caught me coming out with my dogs. They arrested me. I went through the system, whatever. At that time when I got arrested, the guy who produced it, Tommy Marin, he was with Scene and PJ somewhere, I think in Europe or LA. And I got them to call him, because he told me, if they come arrest you, don't worry, call me. I knew they were going to come eventually. The video was too powerful. You know, It was too crazy. And the good thing, if you look at the video, when I do the train missions, my face is blurred. But there was one train mission there that got me, that I didn't get to buff out either, but whatever. And I said, man, I can't do these trains no more. I have to, like, you get older. You start having your kids get big, you get older, you get tired of the BS. So you're like, what's there? Canvases. And before my mother passed away, she always told me, why don't you do canvases? You
also mentioned something important. You're a father and you have children, and you can't put when you go writing, you're putting your life at risk, especially in a train. I think that has to be appreciated about this culture. Philippe Hugo asks, who are the top 5 in your collection? Oh,
man, that's tough. It's hard, man, because I like all my everything. I like everything I collect. Delta 2 is one of them. I don't know, something about his work. I really love his work, and he's a great guy. And I probably have about 50 pieces of his already, but I just love his work. I got some of his stuff. I got a lot of Knock stuff. Knock is one of my favorites. I got some good stuff, some Trace. It's kind of tough. I got Blade. I've been collecting a lot of Blade now. It's tough because it's all the stuff that I like and I watched as a kid. And it's kind of cool that you can have this in your hand, and I've been collecting little subway cars, having them painted. And I was doing it before, but this guy, Puerto Rican Rob, started doing it too. And he inspired me to get back on it.
Yep,
and I see his collection. I was like, oh, man, you see? So I was doing it way before, but it wasn't, it's hard to deal with artists too when you're trying to contact them. And some guys want so much money and, you don't want to offend them. You want to pay them too. Some people have no money. Some of these old guys are struggling too. So, you want to hit them off for $500, $1,000, $2,000 for their work. If I'm making it, why not? If I can help you out in that way, boom, I'll buy a piece from you.
For sure. So Commons asks, what New York writer do you respect?
Who?
Commons asks, what New York younger writer do you respect?
Comment?
No, Commons.
Oh, Commons. Oh, man. Me, I respect anyone that respects me. That's just how I was brought up, man. I get disrespected a lot, but it's human nature, man. What can you do? But I'm a type of person, I always try to respect my elders and always the writers before me. I see a writer today, even if they're down and out, like Stay High. before he passed away, you know, he wasn't in great shape, but I always respected him. You know, I respected him. I never disrespected him. I would see him buy artwork. He would give me artwork, Stay High. I have a lot of Stay High 149 too. He was a great guy, rest his soul. And, you know, I respect anyone that respects me. And some guys get a little out of hand. I try to brush it off now because it's not even worth it anymore. You know, when you push in middle 50s, it's ridiculous. What are we fighting about? What?
Yeah.
Honestly, what are we fighting for? It doesn't make sense.
So let's use some of that wisdom for this question. What do you recommend? What would you recommend to get graduate? The way they write sometimes. What would you recommend to get graduated from college or try to build your own business from? You know what, Websky, I'm going to reframe your question because it doesn't sound right. What is your recommendation for somebody trying to build a business from zero skills, art, graffiti, whatever?
It's tough because I was taught and by masters at my time. Today, if you want to be a graffiti writer, you just go online. You know, you go on Instagram, Facebook, you just can punch in Julio 104 and see his pieces and start biting. It's easier today, you know, and that's it. Like, that's the problem too. A lot today with a lot of street artists, what they did was they just started doing stencils.
Right.
And boom, the galleries took it after Exit Through the Gift Shop. And you see all these guys that really never did anything in art at all. No graffiti, no nothing.
Yeah.
Now they're huge. And it's bugged out off of something that they didn't even create.
I know I've often taken issue with that. And, you know, those that know me, I'm a rather, you know, democratic person. I think, like, yeah, there's more than enough money, walls, and galleries for art, but there's not enough. The space for, you know, legitimate history is limited, right? And that is something that's really important to a lot of us who are old school guys. Those of us who are involved with the museum who highlight.
That's what's great about the Museum of Graffiti.
So let's talk about that. What was your thought when you came to Miami and you saw that this was actually being realized?
It was great. It was phenomenal to even me be part of it, having my sneakers in there with some collaborations I did. And I mean, there's so much you could do. It's too much history. You can't get everybody. You know, I understand that, but you guys did a phenomenal job. You got the best of, you know, what you can do, who you can get to try to start at least to set it off and tell the story. And then now you can just keep on. And with these phenomenal interviews, the good thing is that you don't only interview new writers, old writers, you're interviewing some of the new writers and some of the new people who are doing burners. You know, that's really cool because you give them shine. Because a lot of them, sometimes they cry, oh, it's always the same people. It's always, I feel that too sometimes. It's always the same writers, always the same artists. I call it the cool kids. That's why sometimes I just go harder. Because I learned sometimes in these things, nobody's going to give you anything. You have to take it. You have to go out there and just be in their face and just keep doing it till they recognize you. You know, even then, it's not even about them recognizing you because it doesn't define you as an artist. Just do it for yourself.
Yeah, but you also have to defend your history, and that's also important. And your work and your legacy. And of course that of your peers too. I think that one of the things that I've learned about doing these interviews is how much reverence artists have for each other. How many names come up. These, you know, people are attached to names that make sense to nobody but themselves. But those are living people, right? Those are living lives.
Exactly.
Those are legacies, and some have passed, right?
Yep.
Like when we talk about Nick 707. And his legacy, his impact on you, not just on you, but a whole bunch of people through the years.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to, as we live and we tell our stories, to in remembrance and respect, but also that these are the pillars of this culture, of this art form.
Because I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for writers like Phase 2. Phase 2 is a big influence too. I remember in the 90s, I would talk to him on the phone. This guy would talk some knowledge. Like, he would just talk and talk and talk. Really great dude. You know, I learned a lot just listening to him. You know, if it wasn't for dudes like him and Nick 707, you know, people who passed away, you know, they had style, Dondi, you know, these dudes, you know, were style masters, man. They were dope. And some of them still alive, like T-Kid. This guy's a fucking, you know, T-Kid burns. Like, I don't think no one can even really mess with this dude, honestly. I've seen T-Kid, not
And
because he's
T-Kid's
my
been
friend,
at it
but
for years.
his style's just, it's phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. This guy can twist. I don't know. I sometimes think he's normal. I think he has like some type of chip in his brain that just has him do these, but he can rock, man. He burns. A lot of people still can burn, even some of the old guys.
If you could pick two old school writers to go up against each other on a wall, you know, friendly paint off, who would you choose?
Oh man, I would like, you know, one time I asked Case 2, before he passed away, he was chilling doing a wall, and I told him, yo, Case, would you ever battle T-Kid? And it was funny because he says, T-Kid, that don't even make any sense. I'll burn T-Kid. I'm like, I don't know, man. That would be an insane battle. You got to give it to him, Case. He's like, what? You insulted me? He got like, oh, you know, Case is like one of my mentors. He taught me a lot. Let me tell you, I have a sketch that I've been looking for, and I cannot find it. And when, you know, a lot of times through the 90s, Case 2 went to prison a lot, and I was always there for him. I always sent him money. You know, we became really tight. I have tons and tons of letters from him and sketches in the back of the stuff people don't even know. And I have put away. And he did one time on a paper 6 coat burners with pencil sketches.
Wow.
And I cannot find it, and it's driving me insane. I mean, I wouldn't trade this for a cause or Banksy painting worth $1 million. I wouldn't trade it. That's how valuable it is to me. And what it was, moving around, I cannot find it. It's just driving me depressed, because the day I pull this out and show people, they're gonna really be shocked. He literally did 6 coat burners, all different styles, and he gave it to me. And
that would have been nice to publish in your book.
Oh, dude. Trust me, man. I need like a week to really go, because I got bins and boxes of crap, you know, and it's a paper, man. It's really, I know I put it somewhere, but dude, that paper's just phenomenal. That drawing, I have to find it. I
could imagine. So Cope, we're gonna wind this up, man. It's been
all right, man.
An incredible 2 hours, man.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. You're a good dude,
Yeah.
my brother, genuine. To all the people out there who support me, man, much love and respect. And, you know, you got to get it together, man. This world is burning, man. You know, it's bad. It's in bad shape, but people got to be more positive. You know, my thing is like, look, man, if you got a beef with me, forget about it, man. When you see me, you want to give me a hug, you want to fucking go have a beer, let's do it, man. You know, it's played. It's corny, man. Let it go. You know, it's too much in this world. And not only that, life is short, man. You know, life is really short.
It's too short. We're being challenged right now with something we can't see, and we're being challenged by something that's been in front of us for so long. You know, dealing with race issues and economic issues.
And it'll never end. It'll never end. It's life. It's human nature.
Yeah.
You know, this will go down and it'll happen again and it'll happen. It's just, it's life. It's what it is.
Well, you know, thankfully you found your lane, and you're taking care of yourself and your family. And
it's all God, man. I'm God's artist, man. I pray to him every day, and he puts me in this path, man. Let me tell you, trust me. God is the greatest. He is the greatest, man. I'm a product of him, man. Trust me. It's not, when people hate on me and talk, you want to hate on me? Talk to God. Beef to him. He created me.
You know, you can suggest to them to listen to a Stevie Wonder song by that title, Have a Talk with God.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Beef to him. He created me. You know, every time I wake up, every day I wake up, the energy, boom, God has blessed me with it. And I'm thankful with it. You know, and I thank everybody who supported me. And George Floyd, rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
Man, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
With that, brother, I'll talk to you soon.
Much blessing. God bless.
Brother. Take care.